grim, dark future, there's no time for fun. But when the day's battles are said and done, John, Danny, and Dickie are here for a laugh. In a galaxy torn, they're the ones with the craft. It's grim after dark, where the bolters spark, where dreadnoughts nap and orcs embark. Tune in, grab a pint, and don't be late for tales of heresy and a healthy debate.
Welcome to Group After Dark here every Tuesday night show. That was someone else's catchphrase. That's fine. Danny, that was a very restrained reaction for what I assume is your 15th time of hearing that song.
Of course, John. I've listened to that song an innumerable number of times. Hard to say how used to it I actually am by now.
I feel left out. I'm just gonna come in the scene.
Oh yeah. We got to figure out, guys. We're changing everything. Like we got a new set now.
Every week, everything's different.
Every week, Dickie's gonna have a ticker going by next week. As we continue to evolve past copyright notices.
Yep.
Welcome to Group After Dark, Warhammer 40,000's only late night show and only good game show, even though we don't do games really anymore. This week, a couple of us watched Chipmunk Jam, like the new opening. Of course you do. It's fantastic. Dickie and I watched Broken Lance on Warhammer Plus. We're going to talk about it.
Yep.
And Danny, I'm really interested in your opinion because this show made me feel things about Warhammer Plus as a So that's why I'm like, if you didn't have time to watch it because you have a real big boy job, that's okay. Because it awoke things in me. We have Ask Danny and Dickie segment coming up, and also looking at a couple of ridiculous pictures that I found out. But first, comment of the week brought to you by our friends at Frontline Gaming, because I think they're still our friends.
Close enough.
I think they're still our. Do we want to be friends with them, though, is probably the question that we should
I
do. Yeah, they're great. The best. If you want 15% off your tabletop miniatures and kick us back a little bit of cash, link in the comments below. Go ahead, click that and buy whatever you want, as long as you use that link.
Am I clicking or are you clicking? Oh, there you go.
I'm clicking here. I got this here. Oh yeah, I do glitch out when I press the button. That's pretty cool. Yeah. This one here is starting from level 19510. It's a very catchy username. I think it's important to have first. Says, I've got an idea. Dear Danny, do you think they'll bring Battlefleet Gothic back? And if they do, what factions would you and the others play? This is one reason I'm really happy that you're here today, Danny. It would be really awkward.
It would be really awkward
you mean if this person had asked this question and I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Is that what happened last week?
No. The show was edited to reflect the content.
I see. Okay. Yes, I do think they're going to bring BFG back at some point. I think it's probably inevitable. I mean, I think the game did fairly decently, the video game. And I can't speak to the other people, but I would probably play Necrons or Eldar if I had a choice. Probably leaning more towards Eldar because solar sailing is really cool.
Me personally, and then Dickie can go. I would do Tyranids. Right now,
that's cool.
I'm listening to Devastation of Baal, and while it has its downsides, which I don't super enjoy, there are a lot of references to Tyranid ships, Sphincters, which I was surprised about.
Interesting.
So, John, how devastated was your ball?
Hey, we're currently ball secundus. They're all good. They're loaded with red guys. They're good to go. But who knows soon? Because everyone's just arguing. And then they described Dante when he took off his helmet as being really old and frail. And I just imagine him as like modern day Ian McKellen.
It's like Patrick Stewart when he takes off the mask.
but like the was it the South Park when they did Rod Stewart? Like, hey, Commander Dante, what should we do? He's like,
Okay, so I think the boring answer is, so I'd probably pick Chaos Space Marines, but I would imagine that'd be pretty boring, right? Because aren't they exactly like?
No,
they're very different.
Blackstone Fortresses, son.
Oh, that's exciting.
So the main difference, Dickie, is that Imperial ships they have a lot of broadsides. They have some forward-facing guns, but the Chaos ships, almost all their guns face forward.
Yeah.
So they have like light broadsides, and they have more heavy like dorsal weapons. So they're good at going right towards people
They're
and shooting them.
aggressive.
Yeah, like your World Eaters fleet would be. But this question, more than making me reminisce about the amazingness of Battlefleet Gothic and the confusingness of centimeters in a war game, had me thinking about bringing back the Hasselhoff tier list as we ask myself, Danny, and Dickie to rank specialist games. Cheeseburger pulled to drink. Oh, I did it. I'm next. Okay. So we have the Hasselhoff tier list here. You know it, you love it. We go from the very tip top, which is Big Bite of Cheeseburger. Second from top is Cheese Pool, I think is what we call it.
Cheese Pool. Yeah.
Completely average. We have a sip of a liter of cola.
Yeah.
Slightly below average, we have eating food off of the toilet ground. And then the very bottom of the barrel, cheese on chin.
Cheese on chin, but like also the look that he's giving is really contemplative. Like he's like, "Oh, things got real bad here."
Like, oh no, I'm probably gonna get fired.
He's like, "You guys, I've got some wisdom to impart on you. So listen close."
Yeah. As I eat this burger.
Yeah.
Off the ground.
Never sign away your syndication rights for Baywatch.
Especially if you keep the syndication rights for Baywatch Nights.
Oh.
Yeah, remember that one?
That was a show. Yes, it was.
That was a show. It was No Trouble in Paradise, but it was a show. So what's going to happen here? Dickie has 5 specialist game titles just off screen.
Yep.
He's going to pull them up, and we are going to list them from.
I had to do this job. Perfect.
Big Bite, Cheese Chin.
Yeah.
So first up on the Hasselhoff tier list is.
I'm gonna put it on just drink. It's not placed here.
Oh,
okay.
Epic.
Oh,
so Epic 40K.
So we're not talking about Titan Legions or Space Marine or Adeptus Titanicus or any of the cool early 90s ones. We're specifically talking about the Epic 40K reboot from the mid to late 90s.
If you want my honest opinion, I think you have this game exactly where it belongs.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
There's only 2 specialist games I can think of that I like more than this one. So
okay.
I think I would keep it right here. I love Epic. Epic is
You know
cool.
what I loved most about that version of Epic was the complete overhaul pretty much of the Space Marine vehicle range as the preview to what was coming to 40K. And it was the first real game I saw where I was like, oh, that's like the Epic Land Raider. Something I remember saying. So yeah. Good call. Dickie, what were your memories of it?
I'm gonna be honest. I did not play this. All I remember is that you could get an Angron model, who was just a red demon guy, and
that was from either Space Marine or Titan Legions, from the earlier version of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then I'm down with Trick because I don't remember this game at all. So
perfect. The next up on the Specialist Games hotspot
this is going to be so hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Can I put it there? Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Morka.
Yeah.
Now I'm slightly biased.
yes, you are.
As I feel this is the greatest game ever created, bar none. But I think a lot of that is tied to the fact that the lore behind it is phenomenal. And I have like a really great memory of just one summer in a GW store Gorka Morka campaign that was just fantastic. So I have bias towards that. I won a whole bunch of scrap tingle thing. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
John tier. I love it.
John tier. Danny, what was your thoughts on Gorka Morka as Val always reminds us, the game that killed Specialist Games?
Yeah, didn't it like almost kill Specialist Games because of how many products that they made of it?
All right, I'm gonna level with you guys.
Yeah.
I've never actually played Gorka Morka before.
I didn't either. I
this.
didn't either.
But if I were to rate this game as far as coolness goes, I think it's probably eating off the ground tier.
Yes,
I will say, plus sides of Gorka Morka, it followed what Warhammer Fantasy was doing with Orc Range and updated it to kind of a more brutal aesthetic. So a lot of what we see in modern orcs started with Brian Nelson and the orc sculpts from Gorka Morka.
That's true.
No Gorka Morka, no modern orcs. This is the game that took them from comedy jokes. It's like a transitional game. Because the whole premise of the game was ridiculous. Like, orcs crashed on a planet. They built a space Hulk up again so they could leave, and then they destroyed it fighting because they couldn't agree whether it looked like Gork or Mork.
Yeah.
So then they rebuilt it so it looked like both, which is where Gorka Morka comes from. And like I said, it's kind of the transitional bridge between ridiculous cartoony orcs from the 90s and scary aggressive orcs. So for that, it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, John, and I would say I'd put this up at cheese tier poll because of your nostalgia for it. I take your word. Maybe one of the most erudite members of the 40K community, John Quennell, really, he's got good takes, guys. Dickie, throw this up on cheese poll tier, dude. I think this is where this belongs.
You're gonna be so mad.
You're gonna be really mad in a minute. Okay.
Why?
Next up, Necromunda, original Necromunda.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly where this belongs.
Where?
In the trash. This is a terrible game, and I don't like it.
Why?
Oh, Danny, start. What are your memories of original mid '90s Necromunda?
This game was actually pretty good. Okay.
Fucking my stubber jamming and like my poor heavy gunner just eating shit because he's sucked on Overwatch. Like, no, I just look. Not my favorite game in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's just like a shittier Mordheim.
I did have Mordheim on this list, and I took it off.
Okay.
Mordheim would
maybe bump this up
fully.
one.
This is purely sci-fi specialist games. Well, no, there's like one other there, but what I would say is Necromunda for me is all the mechanisms of Blood Bowl, but none of the fun. So, like I said, if I have my heavy poking out to shoot, and then I get shot at in that game, and I fall off and fall 3 stories, and then I'm just out of action because I failed a dice roll. It's a really feels bad game. And then especially with how powerful Ratlings were as Ratskins were as hired guns, and the gang was really powerful. And then Redemptionists with their oops all hand flamers. It was just, I appreciated the campaign ability and building your gang, and I had a little dive bar that I made that my gang hit out at and things, and that was cool. And kind of like narrative elements like that were fine, but the gameplay I did not enjoy because like Danny said, your gun jams and then you're stuck on the 3rd story, and then some Juve like shoots you with an auto pistol from a balcony below, and you roll a 1 and fall to your death, and there's 10 weeks worth of work, I guess.
All right.
Sucks about Johnson.
Yeah. But Dickie, you seem shocked that we're not Necromunda fans. Danny, I'm actually shocked we agree that the Necromunda was.
Yeah, so Necromunda was the second game I got into, and I really liked it. I guess it was my first foray into kind of sci-fi action kind of game, so it was cool. I like the 3D aspect of it. Like the boards could be really like vertical, and you could shoot from like really cool angles and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was cool.
I will say it was the first time I was really wowed by a board. So like when you show up at the store, because this is the era of like polystyrene hills and like cardboard ruins and stuff, and the scenery from Necromunda and Outlanders was fantastic. It looked really impressive. But then the other side of that is it was card. So occasionally it would just fall over, and all of your miniatures are pewter.
Yeah, and
Now,
we're specifying this is old Necromunda, not
yes,
current Necromunda that I have never played. So,
all of
you know,
these,
Actually, very fun.
okay. Nice.
all of these are their 90s versions.
Okay, got it.
Next,
Right. Next. Battlefield Gothic.
Battlefield Gothic. The impetus for this tier list.
I have a hard time here. I'd
Yeah.
probably rate this cheese on chin tier or eating off the ground tier. But like that's because I don't know what's number one and I'm afraid of what John has picked.
What's funny is I don't remember what I've picked. I don't have access to so many marks over here. I will say Battlefield Gothic was fun. But it was kind of fun if you're really good with precision angles and planning. And like
knowing metric.
and like the feels bad of launching your torpedo broadside and just watching it slowly advance across the board for 3 turns, only for you to miss completely. Or if you fire, then instantly realize that you're going to miss. It was bad.
I'm gonna get into a tangent. Did you guys play the video game Battlefield Gothic? Was it good? Did you enjoy it?
Enjoyed it. Yeah.
Huh.
For the same reasons I didn't super enjoy the tabletop game, to be honest with you.
It was just like slow, and
there's something really depressing about moving your own torpedo markers when you know you've missed.
Look, and I totally get that, right? And like they're gonna go until they run out of fuel because they only have so much fuel, right?
Yeah.
But like I would often fire torpedoes to limit where my opponent wanted to go.
Oh,
so like, okay, well, hey, I'm gonna fire a bunch of torpedoes off this way, and I know you don't have to go over there, but if you do, there's a chance you might get torpedoed.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like it's above Necromunda and below Epic.
It's the new,
I think that's fair.
It's the new
John, you better
shirt.
pick a banger for the last one.
The new Danny shirt is the you can't go there. The last game, Mark, it is not Mordheim. There is very few fantasy in this list. The last game is
Blood Bowl.
It's not my favorite, but I understand why it could be number one.
You son of a gun. All right.
So, to me, Blood Bowl, and I think this tier list actually shakes out pretty good and pretty accurately. The only thing people are going to give a shit for is Battlefield Gothic and Gorka Morka should be flipped.
Yeah, I would imagine Gorka Morka shouldn't be that high, but I mean, you're on the show, so that's why it's there.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'd flip Blood Bowl where Blood Bowl is going to go and Epic. Like, because Epic is probably my favorite game out of all these games.
I will say Blood Bowl was the first game where I could finish it within an hour. I could create my narrative. I could grow my team. I still remember vividly going through the Citadel Miniatures 1997 catalog and ordering individual parts from like the Skaven Doom Wheel Rider to make my coach in a wheelchair to sit at the side of the park.
Yeah.
Because the guy had a blanket over his leg, so I painted like a little Tarian blanket over his like broken body. And I said the only downside about Blood Bowl is it's encapsulates the word dice games.
Yeah.
Because you could have the shittiest team, I could have the best team in the world. But oops, I turned over
a lot. Yeah. I really love Blood Bowl. I love how silly it is. It harkens back to a before time of fantasy, and man, it's a lot of fun. I used to have a halfling team to play. It was delightful, and then I got really competitive and I went for the dwarves, and those guys were dirtbags. They beat the crap out of people. I had one of those giant like doom roller things, which was hilarious. No, I still have it downstairs. I gotta bring that thing up.
What was that thing called? The Goblin Crusher?
I think it was just the Doom
Roller.
Doom Roller.
Yeah,
they weren't crazy with their naming conventions.
Death Roller.
In the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Roller.
How do you guys feel? Because at the time, you guys big fantasy players, really appreciate that setting, enjoying that thing. Blood Bowl, while it's a homage to fantasy, and I'm just going to hide that there as an homage to fantasy, does
Not
almost
really.
make fun of it quite a bit. And takes a lot of kind of the narratives and the stories and kind of laughs at them. I mean, to this point, Matthew Gillum, Death Ruler,
Death Ruler.
absolutely right. Imagine doing it in 40K, where you take a Space Marine team and make fun of them to the level that they made fun of, like the Reichland Reavers. I don't think it would go over well today. What were your feelings at the time of Blood Bowl as a setting?
Look, if you can't laugh at yourself, what's the point?
Yeah. It was just such a great fun setting.
Yeah.
And it's a great intro, like for new players, new people getting into miniature hobbies. Like Blood Bowl was a fantastic game to get. That was my first intro to miniature games, and it just got me hooked. It was really a lot of fun. So
cool.
Plus, one of the announcers looks just like Val.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly like Val. Yeah,
that's true.
We have a short.
We've been talking about playing some Blood Bowl 3 on the channel, just because the games that have come out are like pretty much one-to-one faithful recreations of the tabletop.
They're really good. I played that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably get some Blood Bowl going in a second. All right. Moving on. That's a great tier list. Look at that. It's all pretty behind the desk.
I love Hasselhoff's tier list. It makes me giggle so much.
Good times. Maybe it'll come back one more time today.
Oh, great.
Yeah. This was also sent to someone slips into our DMs, guys.
Oh.
And sent this question, which I think me and Dickie are going to ace on. Danny, I'm not quite sure your knowledge of the Bluey universe.
I guess we'll see. The Blueniverse?
The Blueniverse, yeah. But it says, match the Bluey character to their 40K faction. Now, if I read this a little closer, I would have given you factions to match them to, like a kid's activity page. I also removed a couple of slides with some of the more ancillary characters, just so I didn't have to explain who Bluey's grandpa was and why that episode was really sad. But we just have the primary cast here. We have the mom, the dad, Bandit right there, and then we have Bluey, Bingo. The name of the mom is escaping me right now. I'm feeling racist, so Sheila is where I'm going.
Christ, that is racist.
I wouldn't say it's racist. It's just
anti-Australian,
stereotypical.
So, geez. Danny, really interested in your opinion. How much Bluey have you watched?
Some episodes while I've been at your house.
Hell yeah, because I love it. So, Bandit.
I have some questions about this, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, dude. Why does the dog have a 5 o'clock shadow?
Just to show that he's an adult.
Yeah, he's a working dog.
He's the best part. You know what his job is? He's an archaeologist. He digs up bones. Okay, I got something for this.
Yep, nailed it. What does the mom do?
Well, fan theories online say that she had an affair. Or he had an affair, and they're trying to hold the family together.
Because of Bingo?
No, they're like the perfect fucking family. There's no way that he cheated on her.
Let me tell you how sad the miscarriage episode got me. Yeah. Good show.
Really well done. A miscarriage episode?
Yeah, well, it got real in the last couple seasons. Yeah.
The last couple seasons, there was episodes that deal with like real things, and there's one where if you're an adult watching it, you're like, oh shit, why are you doing that? But if you're a kid, you're like, oh, that's really funny. They're playing with a balloon. It's just it's fantastic. But Sheila, the mom, it's not the mom's name. That's okay.
God.
All right, I'm Googling her name because that's really bothering me, John.
It's not Sheila. It's 100% not Sheila.
It is Chili.
Chili Healer.
Chili. How do you forget Chili? How did we all forget Chili?
I don't know.
I didn't forget. I'm learning this for the first time. I'd like to point that out.
That's awful convenient.
Yeah. All right. So what's the task here? What did that DM tell us we have to do?
Shit, I don't remember anymore. Let me go back here. Go back, Val.
Oh, wait. I have another question about their family.
Yeah.
Are the children biologically theirs?
They are, yes.
Yes.
So why does she only have one puppy? Because I think it's very rare for a dog to only have one puppy at a time.
The dark side of Bluey, the new season.
What happened to the other? What happened to Bluey's brothers, sisters,
or sisters? Yeah, we don't really know, Danny.
It's really dark.
This is fan fiction that you guys should.
Well, they have a
read.
lot of crocodiles in Australia, so.
Oh my God!
Oh no!
We're Francois.
What?
There's a character called Francois.
Oh, is he a crocodile?
No, he's not. He is.
Are there any crocodile characters in the
The
show?
rest were sold. Oh, Matthew, you're probably right.
Yeah, Matthew. What they don't show you before the start of season 3 is Chili and Bandit hanging out in
The 2 litters in order to afford their lifestyle.
hanging out in a Kroger's parking lot selling their children.
Oh man.
Look, guys, archaeology does not pay what it used to, and Chili seems like maybe she's a stay-at-home mom. So I mean, on that single archaeologist income,
goes out, but I don't really know what she does.
Oh, they have problems. I'm just going to say
had an affair.
Imperium, because it doesn't make sense. It looks good, but we probably shouldn't be rooting for people who sell their kids out of cars in Kroger's parking lots.
Oh, I did Google this.
Okay.
Chili works part-time customs at the airport.
Oh, so she's Homeland Security, keeping all of the imported dogs out so she can get better price for hers.
Now, are all of the characters in Bluey dogs?
They are all dogs.
I think they're all dogs, right?
They're all dogs.
Yeah. Dogs are people. They're people dogs.
Yeah. Let's go skip past the slide before you were
Annie
made it real. I was
really
like,
good at
ready
sniffing
for some
stuff. That's why she's worked security.
I was trying to have
That's
fun.
really
Danny just
funny.
got really serious and really brought it to a dark.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be able to watch Bluey again the same, Danny. Thank you.
Oh, you will. It's easy enough.
I mean, you're going to watch it the same way you watched it before, Dickie, I imagine.
Questioning where the rest of the family is.
Where the other puppies?
All right. Let's get back to tangentially Warhammer. Danny, what are we looking at?
Dude, it's Modelo time. That's what I'm looking at. And
Tell me, this if you're listening to the audio only version, this is a man who I'm assuming man, and I feel pretty confident in saying that, who has built a Primera Space Marine outfit out of boxes of Modelo.
Oh yeah, dude.
Danny, what's the background of the Modelo chapter?
I like that he's wearing board shorts.
It's Modelo time.
They're known for their precision in drop assaults, actually.
Oh,
because when they're there, it's time.
Yeah.
oh, it's Modelo time.
They're with the army-wide rule, pour one out.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fantastic costume. And it's even better that Matthew's comment about Bluey about from a cardboard box still works.
It's amazing how like detailed the costume is. Honestly,
Quality
really like that. Look at the hands.
Yeah.
look at the helmet, dude.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, do you think that he just like put Modelo stickers on these, or do you think this is actually crafted from Modelo?
I'm gonna tell you what he did, because you can print out from the internet like plans for how to make your own Space Marine outfit using foam board and kind of other things like that. So I think he did that, but instead of using foam board, he used Modelo boxes, which is even better.
I'm
Let's
impressed.
get curious about the environment, John.
Like this is reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah.
So we should all be proud of that.
That's
Yeah,
a blue.
Modelo.
That's a blue marine I can respect. Right there.
Unlike other Blue Marines.
Yeah. No one likes the other
Dickie
one.
does not respect Marines unless they are clad in Morello.
And Morello. Yeah.
Or Modelo, even. Morello is the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine.
Either one.
Moving on. Denny.
Did you know he went to Harvard?
Wow.
Did?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he has like an engineering degree as well.
Danny, I got this today in the mail. It's my Kickstarter for Halo Flashpoint
Nice.
that I forgot that I ordered forever ago.
Love it.
It's made with the Dead Zone rules engine, so Christ knows why Mantic had to kickstart it.
Their most popular rule system. Who knows? It's a fucking mystery why they had to kickstart it.
Guys, we're just using our most popular rule system with an incredibly popular IP. We don't know if it's going to make money or not. But when I
Better
sent
play it safe.
when like again, Mantic being a terrible company aside, they do hold some really great licenses. And when I sent you this because I was really excited about it, you noticed something that I did not.
I'm like, what the hell is a Spartone?
Yeah, this is the exterior box for my Flashpoint Spartone edition, which I think is like an Italian version. Plus Master Chief, which is the important part.
Or it's a weight. It's Spartans. It's a Spartan.
Great, I got something for that too.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a good one. But regardless, I'm excited to play it.
What comes in the box, John? Tell me about it.
What comes in the Spartone edition? We get 16 Spartones, 4 Banished Elite, a rulebook, a playmat, 3 colored card tokens, deluxe 2-sided board, 20 weapon cards, extra terrain and tokens, 20 player model cards, reference cards, D8 command dice, and also a Master Chief, which is the entire reason I bought the set, is so I could have a Master Chief here.
Nice.
Well
Take
done.
that Armies on parade at my Games Workshop store next year. Yeah, it's just a small scale like 4v4 skirmish game pretty much, but I just get options. And Master Chief has an energy sword, so that's perfect. But yeah. Ningbo, sadly from my real job, I know exactly where that is, which I think is just a city that is nothing but enormous factories that make stuff. Moving on. Now it's time for a new part. Grim After Dark goes to the movies. This got cut off a little bit in the translation here. We say we went to the movies. We just remembered that Warhammer Plus comes with animated shows.
It does. Yeah.
It does. So Dickie, you and I watched this week Broken Lance.
Yep.
I was excited. I was like, you tried, and it did not let you. And I think that is unique thing that we should talk about when it comes to Warhammer TV. But Broken Lance was like, great, this is a 30-minute one. It's going to be a slightly longer form story. Dickie, was actually just 6 short episodes stitched together.
Yeah, it was just like one 30-minute I don't know if it wasn't even 30. I thought it was like 26 minutes or something random. Yeah, man, I threw it on the old iPad. I jumped on the treadmill and listened to this thing. Watched it. It was good. Yeah,
I put it on my giant TV. I turned off all the lights. I grabbed a little glass wine and said,
you went deep.
I went deep. I cast there. I will say, I really enjoyed it in general, even though it was all super dark.
It was very dark, yeah.
And there's reasons. We're kind of go into this here. Essentially, Broken Lance follows the story of an Imperial Knight house that's under siege from a Chaos Knight house. The initial battle, fantastic that you see, is Nurgle-based Chaos Knights. They have just a ton of Pox Walkers walking along.
Just a random Great Unclean one, like suplexing people. Yeah,
Great Unclean one suplexing like a knight. A lot of really great things I wish were in the game.
Yeah.
The colors of the knights were, to me, and this is again being picky, it was a little disjointed in kind of the coloring and the assets that they used. There wasn't really there's something fell off during the battle, like seeing them lining up together.
Okay. What, like on the first scene?
Yeah.
So the first scene, well, I think the reason is we'll talk about it in a minute. But I think there were multiple houses there, so I think that was one of the reasons. But also, like their own house colors were really muted.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to see. So yeah.
Danny, in this there is an abominant.
An abominant?
Oh, an abominant. I think
Obamament?
Yeah. The knight Obama with the scourge flail. and they use it as a weapon. And this is what this picture's showing, even though it's super dark. Dude, it's so much better in the show than it is on the tabletop.
Oh my god, yeah, it kicks ass in the show. It does nothing on the table.
It one-shots a knight on the show, and it makes me sad when I take it out of my cabinet.
Yeah.
Did its tail do anything?
It impales with the little tentacle thingies.
And they like man-made horrors beyond my imagination, like flail around and stuff, and it was super cool. But a lot of this comes to a conversation between the queen of the planet and her niece about you have to say, oh, you're a coward, and all this other fun stuff. Also, Dickie, a lot of armigers destroyed.
Dude, I gotta say, so there was one scene that I played twice actually because I enjoyed it. It was the armiger with the 2 battle cannons. And the thing was, honestly, Danny, he was like running at a full sprint, and he had those little goddamn guns just blazing away. And I was like,
cool.
they're cool as heck. Look at these guys.
Yeah,
So
like Helverins.
Yeah. The only problem after that scene, I think that was the guy that got suplexed by the Great Unclean One.
He did get suplexed.
Yeah.
He probably deserved it though, Dickie.
He did. He was shooting at someone they didn't want him to shoot at, and it looked like a lot like the Helverins. It was shooting like a lot, but it did no damage. It was only AP1. So yeah.
I will say they showed a lot of images of the pilots inside the knights. That's not how I imagine a knight was piloted, if I'm being really honest with you.
Do we have a picture of one of those?
I do not. Maybe Dickie, if I can stall for time, maybe you can find one.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a lot of movement without the helmet. There's a lot of kind of, do you remember the TV show Megas XLR? Oh my gosh. Okay, so they drive a car that turns into a giant robot. But they make it go forward by grabbing both gear 6 and being like, yeah! And that's also how they pilot knights, apparently. Whereas I thought there was a lot more of kind of a neural interface kind of thing going on.
Oh. Well, John, remember, it's 40K, so it can't be too high-tech.
That's true. I will say, do we all care about spoilers? Do you care about spoilers?
You don't watch it, Danny? Nah, he's good.
I mean, I will watch it eventually, but I just don't. Not this day.
Spoiler, it's really good. I picked this picture because this is the world's most useless Helverin.
I was ready for that guy to go crazy. I didn't.
So there's a part where we're skipped to the end spoilers. Turns out when the original settlers got there to the planet, they lost against the giant monsters, so they made a deal with the giant monsters. And then Papa Nurgle was like, well, your bloodline's mine forever. And they're like, cool. And today's the day Nurgle's come to collect. And that's why all the knights are coming. So upon hearing that, the niece stabs her queen aunt in the side and leaves her to die. When she does this, there are 2 fully operational Helverins bodyguarded at either side that do nothing.
Yeah, they were not the best.
Literally just stand there. And then she walks out of the door holding a bloody knife and says, the queen is dead. And everyone's like, all right, cool, let's go.
That's how I would act, honestly.
True.
All right.
Well, honestly, like the queen was having a rough go to begin with. She was not clearly Chaos got somewhere in there and was messing around with her guts. Yep. So she was not well. But I thought the story was fantastic.
Would you say that Chaos rearranged her guts, Dickie?
Did rearrange her guts. The story was fantastic. Well,
the story there was some climactic moments, like when they find out that she kills her father, and it was like, I'm like, oh my god, this is like 26 minutes of pure enjoyment here. No, it was really good.
Do you know what pulled away from it though? I hope this is the next slide. We'll find out. Let's talk about animation quality on Warhammer Plus or Warhammer TV.
Oh, yeah. This is the killer.
There's a story about Brad Bird, legendary director, made Iron Giant. It flopped, and so afterwards he went to work at Pixar, and he pitched the idea for something called The Incredibles. And they're like, yeah, we like it, but it's going to cost like $500 million to do because it's really hard to do convincing people.
Sure.
And this one suffers a lot from the limit budget. I'm going to call it budget-based limitation.
Yeah, so I noticed quality differences. There were certain quality differences. So
Right.
I would say the scenes in the room were actually better quality than when they were in the fighting scenes of the knights.
Hmm.
And it was actually quite jarring,
Yeah.
the changes of scenes.
Danny,
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Now, you guys are saying that Rosario Dawson here is not a quality woman.
I wondered
Is that
why
what I'm
so
hearing?
attracted.
Well, she was so attractive, yeah.
So it just reminds me of and this is again, it's not a knock, but it sort of is about a PS4 game. Like the cutscene of a PS4 game.
Seriously, yeah.
Which
Just
again,
taken directly from Space Marine like cutscenes.
it's not, and this is the bad thing as well, because this is me coming from a place where I've just finished Space Marine 2. I've watched all those cutscenes, like, but then you have to pull back and realize the reason Space Marine 2 looks good is because they put a shitload of money into it. And that's why it looks fantastic. And they just don't have this level. I jokingly called this title is Broken Lands worth $60 a year, because right now Warhammer Plus is $60 a year.
Yeah.
I don't think these studios or these animations are being well funded or enough funded at all to do them justice.
But you know what? Like, so I was thinking to myself after I watched this, I really enjoyed the kind of that whole show. And I said, if they did not like CGI and they just did animation, I think I would have enjoyed it more somehow, because it probably would have been brighter, like brighter colors. They probably could have been a little more flashy. Obviously, it takes more skilled people to do that, but
well, I don't even think, and it's not more skillful people. It's just, and like executive producer extraordinaire Nick Horton will tell you this: it's money. Like, there's only
probably didn't have any.
There's only so much you can do in this budget, and I just Polar Express is something else I'm thinking of looking at this picture here.
Yeah, Polar Express,
and like
2004 or whatever.
So the story is fantastic. The writing is great. Characterizations are great. The battle scenes are great. The cinematography, the blocking, the lighting, the music, everything is fantastic.
Even the voice acting was decent too.
I just got myself pulled out by this kind of uncanny valley jumping. Or what, like I said, when you went into the battles, all the battles were at night. It was all shaky cam. It was all it was, and again, these are just tools that have to be done to hide the budget. But it makes me think of just Warhammer TV in general, as a concept. We started this series with this one jokingly because, like, oh yeah, that's you get shows with it as well. Danny, I know you have. I've been subscribed to Warhammer Plus for 3 years now, 4 years.
Yep.
So we've paid almost $200 to this thing. How many of these shorts have you watched?
I watched not that many, John. To be quite honest, I've not watched that many. A lot less than I probably should.
I think this was my third watched, and I've had Warhammer Plus for forever. So.
And it comes to this weird place where we as a fan base are like, more animation, more shows, more content.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have people, I'm going to cancel my Warhammer Plus subscription because I need to buy a codex to look at a Vindicator Assassin now, which is a valid complaint. But I think that having this as a paid service is a mistake. It's kind of where I'm at currently. Because when you have a paid service, that's, even though right now, say $5 a month is what it is. If you look at none of the other things like the White Dwarfs, Warhammer TV, $5 a month. Like Paramount Plus is like $8 a month. You're getting into a really crowded space where there's going to be a lot of really big expectations. And I think, honestly, this would be a much more successful venture if it was not a paid service, or if it was removed from that there. And I know that's a crazy thing, that's GW not to charge for something, but I was genuinely impressed by how this was put together, about the story, about all that other stuff. I was enthralled the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's almost hidden behind an internet meme at this point, Danny.
Yeah. I spend $5 a month to have access to the Army Builder.
Right.
If I get this extra stuff and maybe a miniature, then that's just extra value in my pocket, so to speak.
Yeah.
They're not even honestly, they're not really even promoting Warhammer Plus.
Why didn't you just do one Warcom community article? One, like, GW, I'll write it. Just send me a Smash Captain once a month, $42 US. And do a thing promoting your shows. The last one I saw was when they did the Noir style Inquisitor one. And even then, it seems to be forgotten about.
Oh, we gotta yeah.
There's a lot of really talented people working on this. It's sadly reduced to the GW animation team or whatever the fuck they call it. But like it's a lot of thought and love is going into this, and it's just kind of being ignored.
The other thing that I think would be to their benefit would be to release an app that you could download on your TV instead of having to like stream this stuff to my TV from my PC or my
So if you have an Apple product, you can download an app, Warhammer TV app. I can confirm. Okay. So yeah,
at least
but I don't know on Google.
But even for me, I have to stream from my phone to the TV. But when you're in like the
John, Dickie, even me,
God damn it!
And I have a Google TV connected to an Apple TV. I'm that bougie.
Wow, that's a lot of layers.
That's a lot of like layers of TV.
But yeah, like right now, it seems to be the Games Workshop wants to do something with animation. It wants to put out these things in the same way that I want to buy a new car. Like I could buy a new car.
You research every once in a while, but you never.
I'm gonna research it. I'm gonna be like, man, I would like, I could probably buy a Tesla down here. I could plug that in, stop paying for gas. Pay that extra tax money. But honestly, I'm probably just gonna have enough money for like a Hyundai and then call it good. But like the quality is going to be lacking. And it's a shame because I think Broken Lens is like a really good example of fantastic concept writing and execution that's sort of let down by visuals. And again, it's because it's separated as a pay service. Yeah. And when you have that pay service, it kind of comes with an expectation that you're going to have X amount of quality. And we've been spoiled for years with the sheer amount of content coming down. Like Danny, when we started doing Mob Rules, there was like 20, 40K podcasts. Now there's 8,000 that are, and there's 7,980 that are better than ours. It's a really crowded marketplace for content and time.
Yeah.
And
sure. We're only really better than Seth's. So
yeah.
Seth has a podcast. You know what we should do, John? We should
leech off Joe too.
We should take it upon ourselves to do a watch party to engage the community to watch these shows.
Oh, we should pirate the show?
Unfortunately, I'll have to talk to my counsel to make sure that this is legal.
It's not me.
Yeah, not you. No, we need people to watch this stuff because they're after watching that show, I was like, man, what else is on here?
Yeah, we're going to keep looking at the shows that are on there. We're going to do a Hammer and Bolter one next week. Because here's the thing. Yeah, there was a thing, fan animators being like, oh, you can't make fan animations anymore. And everyone's up in arms about that. But GW is paying these people now. But how much do you think they're going to pay them if you don't watch the shit?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of like a rock and a hard place. Like, I'm not being a GW shill about it, but there's a lot of talented people making great stuff on there.
And I'm going to be honest, guys, we're not getting that Amazon show anytime soon. So this is all we're getting for a while. So let's embrace what we have.
The Amazon show at this point, I'm like, will it come in my lifetime? I think it's going to come at a time where Henry Cavill is going to be too old to play a role in it.
He's actually
going to be Malkador.
It's going to be Malkador.
He could play Dante.
Oh no!
Yeah. I think this next picture here was the other thing. Oh yeah, there we go. I made this picture here.
Yeah.
Because they at the start of the Broken Lance, they recap what Imperial Knights are. They explain how they went out on their ships and colonized dangerous worlds. And they turned the equipment of production into weapons of war. And I know Mob Rules like forever ago pointed this out, but I forgot it until like literally yesterday. The Imperial Knights are essentially farm equipment with guns attached to them.
It's just crazy to think, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because
Awesome.
I really want a combine harvester double-armed Imperial Knight, like thrashing as it goes, but just leaving enormous crop-destroying footprints in the ground behind it. Because this is the single worst piece of farm equipment ever.
He was probably more of a builder than anything else.
A builder? Like you're like, can you build me a house? Yeah, let me get him an 80-foot tall robot. Buddy.
Exactly.
How do you know they don't have special feet?
Yeah, how do you know their feet aren't
They have
different?
special arms for farming. Why can't they have feet?
That's true. That's true.
Like
Someone get on the Imperial Knights Wiki feet page. In fact,
soft feet.
I wonder how many subs we could get if we started an Imperial Knight Wiki feet page and see what rating it would be there. Mark Murphy's, if you're offended at my pronunciation, you have not been listening to the show, because if there's one thing I do, I pronounce words incorrectly.
Helverin.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Dickie.
Yep.
We have the Warhammer Plus tier list. This is something we're going to be adding to on a weekly basis, putting the shows we watch in order of amazingness. Now, there isn't a specific, they're like not limited to one per tier. There's just where we feel it's at. Where do you view Broken Lance?
Oh man. Okay, so I think the story was definitely cheeseburger bite, but unfortunately, the animation really let it down.
Yep.
Really
I'm going to say cheese pool.
I don't know if it was cheese pool, dude. I'm doing soda.
Guys, we can rearrange this tier when we get more shows on it.
We could.
We could.
I think we're just gonna. If I know Johnny's just gonna leave it exactly the same every week.
I think you should keep this in the middle for right now. I think that's the fairest way to do this, because then you can go up or down.
I was gonna say it's got to be middle. Like it's got to be soda sip, right? Right now.
Yeah. This did check all the boxes for what a Warhammer book or TV show should be. It made me write an army list with an abomination.
Abomination.
Yeah, that's just for Mark. It made me write a list right away with an abominant. It made me remember parts of lore. It made me also like it did that part. Like I said, it's just the Polar Express CGI really threw me off. It works in things where there's Space Marines because they're just giant flat surfaces with helmets.
But once that human face gets just ripped apart by that CGI, it gets real wonky.
Real wonky.
Yeah, man, I think I'm down with middle tier right now. You know what? I'm really excited. I saw a lot of animation, like proper animation in there, and I'm really excited to take a look at some of that.
Well, Dickie, you get to pick next week's special.
Okay.
But we don't have to do that like this second.
Right. Like
that's
dead air until then. Perfect.
Yeah. We'll just do the classic.
We'll be back in 10 minutes while Dickie picks a new show.
I gotta log into Warhammer Plus. 1 second.
Yeah, just 1 second, guys.
Oh.
Earl Hagen was legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts.
Wait, no, I think I got it.
Decades later, he made a.
Dickie hits the whistling ad. He's already got it.
It was painful. Do you want to go like the whistle? Do you guys want to do animation or like some banger shots that I'm like looking at right now?
Let's decide this after a quick break.
You sons of bitches.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time,
I officially have found one. You could stop.
He'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles, a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney.
All right.
Good. Now everyone stop listening and watching. So what are we doing next week?
Okay. So next week we're gonna do Hammer and Bolter Eternal.
Eternal.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what that's about. I don't.
Oh, did you watch it already?
I haven't.
I didn't. I could give the
Give
audience.
us a synopsis,
Basically,
Dickie.
it's Lucius the Eternal, who's the Emperor's children, and it's I guess it's about him. So.
Oh. All right. Eternal it is. Watch it on next week. Eternal
whistling. That's what it felt like.
Let's look at a couple of fun old slides before we get going here. Danny, the Titans horn has been replaced with a radio, and you've been handed the aux. What's the first thing you're playing?
Oh, all right. Is it lame that I'm gonna say immigrant song because I think it would be cool? Like
that
on
does
the
have strong immigrant song vibes. I was also gonna say
just whistling, man. Maybe some wiggles.
And we did 150 episodes of Mob Rules, and that is the only thing that has caused such vitriol, hatred, and popularity more than anything else.
I agree.
Okay, so I have one answer. So anytime I've ever given a mic to sing or do any kind of product like that, that's a great picture. It's know when to hold them is usually what I sing.
Could you imagine a mountain-sized monster?
Go back to the picture. Go back to the picture. I just want to visualize it.
Yeah, visualize it for me.
You gotta know when to hold them. Yeah, just it's almost perfect. That's what I would do.
Beautiful. We have here a drone carrying a crab. Danny, what's its rules?
Well, it's a unit in the Gene Stealer Codex. The crab is actually a Tyranid. It deep strikes, John. And when it does, it makes your opponent's army smell like crab for 3 days.
Oh no.
And yeah. Mark Murphy, this is for you. Did you notice the coloring of his chitin? Deep burn.
Dude, I hate you so much right now.
Danny, dear loyalists, why do you call yourselves Imperial Fist when your greatest champion only ever used a sword? Why do they have a dumb name?
I mean, tell that to that one guy who had a fist.
I think
officially he lost his fist, didn't he?
Did he? Did it get cut off? I don't know. I didn't read those books. Heresy's dumb.
Fair enough.
Then I think probably finally for tonight, tabletop games where the movement phase decides games dunks over everything else. Danny, we've talked a lot about enjoyment within the game of 40K. What is the most satisfying phase in all of Warhammer?
The bottom of turn 5 movement. Because you just, like, oftentimes I'll move my models and I'm saying, okay, well, I won. So I don't have to do anything else. I'm not going to fight you or do anything else. But, like, literally, you just move your guys into positions and you're like, okay, I win.
It's the most lazy turn. Yeah.
That is so satisfying, though, to just be like, I win. Like, well, the best part is the the bargaining part of their depression. Like, well, I'm just going to do this and this. I'm like, okay, that still doesn't do anything.
Cool. I'll just do this then.
Or like, this bloodthirst is going to wipe out this unit. Like, I can do like 5 wounds max or 7 in the unit. That is super good.
Was it, John, was it me and you who were talking about the Bloodthirster and how much damage it did? And you got like immediately depressed because like it didn't kill a 5-man intercessor squad. And you're like, this is the stupidest thing in the world.
Guys, I don't know if you know anything about me as a player. I like my army lists could be described as Control-C, Control-V. Like spamming stuff. It makes me happy. Even my new Blood Angels list is just spam. I came up with a list when I was playing Danny of, what was it, 7 Bloodthirsters? It was the maximum amount I was allowed.
Something like that, yeah.
It was something like 7 Bloodthirsters, and I was like, yeah, this is going to kick ass. And Danny's like, let's roll it out. And then we rolled out 1 Bloodthirster, and like, okay, you failed to kill 1 5-man intercessor squad. I'm like, fucking stupid.
This game sucks.
I think we worked out that it would take 3 Bloodthirsters to kill like 1 10-man intercessor squad.
Yeah.
And then
Probably.
I just want you to know, Utah Games Workshop out of about $700 of monies there as I was about to buy 7 Bloodthirsters.
Oh yeah. Did you not buy any more models after that? Were you done?
I did not buy. I just took actually legitimately your Bloodthirster, and he is the only one I own. Purple. Fantastic. Dickie, what's the most satisfying phase in a tabletop game?
I'm kind of partial to turn one like movement phase. To be honest, usually I pull cards that are just there's no way I'm scoring them, so you can just get into position and just hit past the turn, basically. So that's pretty good.
For me,
Up
it's
and running.
any assault phase, because that's when my jank shines the most. And people who played against me a lot sort of figure out the jank and where it's coming from. But for new players, that look when you suddenly consolidate 6 or engage a different unit or pull back in a way and just do some weird stuff, it's the most satisfying part is movement jank in the assault phase. I think that came from me. Like for the longest time, I was running so many Destro Terminators. And I was like, oh, they're so slow. And I'm like, yeah, in the movement phase. No, I did move them. I didn't consolidate them 6 inches because they didn't have a strap for that. But yeah, the charge and the consolidation and the trap and just like try pointing things and just all of the different movement based shit you can do in the assault phase. When it's like Sex Panther, 80% of the time it works every time. Then 20% I get table turn 2. So we'll see how that goes. Dickie, I have more, but I think we're going to save it for next week because I got a little too passionate about the old Warhammer Plus.
It's all good, buddy.
The Plus. Because, yeah, it was, like I said, right now it should not be a subscription service. It should just be part of the old Plus Arena.
Oh, boy, we're just going back in time here.
Going backwards because, yeah, I was like, I planned far too much content for this week. And no one wants to be here. So, yeah. Next week, we're going to be looking at Eternal, the Bolter sort of episode of Warhammer.
It's going to be awesome.
It deals with Lucius the Eternal. If you don't know who Lucius the Eternal is, he's the one with the whip that you can't actually buy right now because they don't make him anymore. Also,
you gotta find his old busted model.
Yeah, not a great model, but fantastic character.
You can buy him in Heresy.
Oh, that Heresy model is really good, actually. Yeah, you just do that one and just scar up his face a bunch because the whole idea he's a massive fucking loser. That's the general plot of Lucius, right, Daddy? I mean, I think that's a pretty fair summary.
I mean, we did an episode of Worst Character in 40K on him, so I feel like...
Oh, God, we could kill 15 minutes by just replaying that at the start of next episode. Yeah, go to the back catalog. Look at the why Lucius the Eternal is the worst character in 40K. As is bringing up all kinds of fun memories now.
Honestly, probably one of our better series. So if you want to check that out, I think it's worth it to listen to us complain about stupid 40k lore.
Well,
For like,
let's see if that the animated movie kind of brings his score up.
probably not.
Oh, no, probably not. We're pretty
Okay,
sad
fair
on that. Before we check out for the week, Dickie, Danny, anything you want to plug, talk about? Anything we didn't touch on over this week?
Damn it.
I have a lot of I had a lot of pictures of Necromunda models in there that look really cool that we didn't quite have time to go over.
Cool.
But yeah. Well, what you guys got?
There's a new episode of Old World Charm that will be coming out soon. We do a review of the High Elf book.
Yep.
It's pretty in depth and fun.
Yep. 2 hours.
But yeah,
2
check
hours
that out.
plus. 2 hours plus.
Yeah, it's 2 hours plus.
That was really loud. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, I wanted to ask you actually really quickly. We have a couple of Patreon questions this reminded me of.
Okay.
The aforementioned Mark says, does Danny have a physical copy of High Elves? And also, how much would John charge to give out Danny's full address? Both questions for Danny.
Do I have a physical copy of High Elves?
Yeah.
Physical copy of High
Yes.
Elves.
Nice.
Okay.
And how much
Yeah.
would I charge to give out your full address?
How much is that? I don't know. How much is that worth to you?
I wouldn't do it. That's a bullshit thing to do.
Oh, thanks, Charlie.
I would send you spam mailers because I think that would be funny, but I would be in control of that, not what other people could do. And Dickie, you also have a question from Mark. Would you rather purchase one Taylor Swift Canada tour ticket or have 4 Warlord Titans? Wait, holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. So clearly someone found this out. So yeah, there is my wife and daughter are going to Taylor Swift. Apparently, I was not aware of how expensive the tickets are, but apparently they're unbelievable. Like remortgage your house. So
Yeah.
I would probably
generation, Dickie.
yeah. I guess.
He's got to tap in that generational wealth, Dickie.
I would rather the Warlord Titans personally. So yeah.
I did see Pat McAfee say it was the single greatest 3.5 hour entertainer he's ever seen.
Well, Pat knows stuff. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
He said he was enthralled from the first minute to the last. He wasn't a Taylor Swift fan. So
There you go.
money well spent. And also if you don't have a ticket for it, then you get some quiet time. So
I do get quiet time.
win-win. But beautiful. Well, that's what we got. Definitely check out their episode of Old World Charm. If you're into that old world shit or Blood Bowl, maybe they'll do a Blood Bowl. Hey, April Fool's episode. Just do a review of Blood Bowl.
What was the show? I totally watched. There was a Blood Bowl. They streamed Blood Bowl, and I was like hooked. I was watching the shit out of it. It was a great fun time. Next week I'll put their I'll link their episode.
Vicky, I said we'd play Blood Bowl. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, but we will be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Grim After Dark, I've been John.
I've been Danny.
And I'm Dickie, but we really need to rewrite the outro.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
In the grim dark future there's no time for fun, but when the day's battles are said and done, John, Danny, and Dickie are here for a laugh. In a galaxy torn, they're the ones with the craft. It's Grim After Dark, where the bolters spark, where dread knights nap and orcs embark. Tune in, grab a pint, and don't be late for Tales of Heresy.